Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to For Honor, where today I'm going to talk about how, in the new patch, Ubisoft is planning on cracking the defensive meta, which, for a lot of characters, is going to be incredibly, it's going to be a massive change. Seriously, playstyles are going to have to completely alter, a lot of them anyway. But the one thing, I think, just from reading all the notes, I'll go through them with you, but from reading them all, I think it's not going to affect the conq that much whatsoever. The way he plays, I think if anything, he's going to be one of the stronger characters in the game. Now, I'm going to put some conq gameplay in the background, just so it's visually appealing. Also, tip, anyone, if there's someone just starting out in the game, or you've got shitloads more experience than them, help them out. I mean, I know it's a pretty toxic community, but we just want it to be a little bit nicer, a little bit friendlier, so that it doesn't completely die. So, getting into the changes, what I'll start with is the parry changes, because this is a big one. This is going to change so many game styles, like characters that rely heavily on parries to get lots of their damage. So, Raider doesn't rely on them, but it's one of his best things. He can get so much damage off a parry. Like, he can get if he parries a light, he can get a guaranteed overhead heavy, which is a lot of damage. But with this change, what it says is, so light parry frame advantage is reduced to be consistent with heavy parry. That means that light parries and heavy parries, they're going to be exactly the same. They're, no greater reward. You won't be able to get a bigger attack off it. Now the big thing, which is going to really screw with people, is guard break is no longer guaranteed after a parry. So that means that if you do get parried, the enemy, I think from what it's saying, I think the best thing you'll be able to get from it is a light attack in. Which is, pretty shit, but as parrying at high level is so easy, I think it's probably, it's good for now. It'll change what's going on, which I think is good, because the defensive meta, while I am a massive part of it, I know it's a problem with the community, and everyone's upset with it. But, yeah, anyway, getting past that, let's get into how it affects Conqueror, this parry change. Now, as Conqueror never really needs to parry in the first place, I don't think it makes a single difference to him whatsoever. And if anything, it makes him way better, because you can throw out light attack after light attack after light attack and not worry about it being parried, because if it is parried, the enemy can't do anything about it. They can get a light. You should be absolutely fine with that. No matter what the situation is, you should be happy. So it opens up a lot more attacking options for Conqueror, which is great. Conqueror is like one of the most turtly characters in the game. If he gets something where he can actually attack other than shield bash, I think that's brilliant. But when it comes to other characters, like Raider and Lawbringer is probably a good example, because he's got the overhead, well, his parry into the overhead unblockable, which has a ton of damage. He's no longer going to be able to get that in any situation. From a light parry or a heavy parry, he's not going to be able to get anything off that, which makes that move completely useless, basically. I'm not sure how it will affect his running stab, but currently it's not looking good for Lawbringer. I don't think he'll have very much from getting parries anymore, which is, Ubisoft fixes one thing, they break another, that sort of deal. But I think he's also going to be good because he has the shove into guard break mix-up, which is, well, basically his only way of getting real damage, more or less, I think, in this upcoming patch, because feints and stuff, I mean, he'll get a few lights and whatnot, his overhead lights are quick enough, but it's going to mess with so many characters across the board. Like, it's going to be a lot easier to deal with them. But because it's going to be easy to deal with all the characters, except, I don't know, I think Berserker's playstyle won't change much, Conqueror's playstyle won't change at all. Raiders is going to change, but it's still going to be bloody good, because I'll get into it in the next bit, but the out of stamina punishes, well, when people are out of stamina, you can get so much more. It's much worse to be out of stamina in this game than it ever has been before. When this patch goes through, like, some of it is ridiculous, but because of that, Raider and his ability to drain stamina really quickly is going to be you know, an incredible asset for him, which is why he's going to be different, but he's not going to be bad, in any sense of the word. But yeah, anyway, this sort of thing, the light parry and all that sort of stuff, I mean, I know I should just be talking about conq, but I want to talk about how it affects the whole game, really. And for most of it as a whole, so many playstyles are screwed over. Now, more than ever, it's going to be not more turtly, it's just going to be more spamming attacks all the time. Spamming attack after attack after attack, because people won't be able to get anything off parries. You don't need to be afraid of parries anymore. Like, if you've got the stamina to deal with it, I mean, you don't need to fear a parry at all. The thing I think people should be afraid of in the upcoming patch is when you run out of stamina. That's going to be the next big thing. Like, not if your attack gets parried, it's if you get out of stamina, you are fucked. So let's look at some of the changes. So, you know, the stamina regen on dodge and block, that's paused, so that means it's even harder to get it back, all that sort of stuff. But the big stuff is, when you're out of stamina, blocking attacks will... Okay, this is another reason why conq is so good, but blocking light attacks, that's going to basically have the same effect as blocking a heavy when you're out of stamina, so you could just spam light after light after light if you're an assassin, because you can't parry when you're out of stamina now, well, in the new patch. You won't be able to parry, so just imagine a berserker with his infinite going left, right, left, right, left, right. You'll be able to block it, sure, well, you'll be able to block some of it, no one can block forever, but you can't do anything about it. They can just wail on you constantly because you can't parry it, and if you block one of their lights, it just goes... It's basically a heavy, pretty much, when you're out of stamina. How this is going to affect conq is... Conq's not going to be any different. Like, if his shield thing stays the same, which it doesn't mention anything change, it doesn't mention any changes of conq, so that means he's going to... In any out stamina state, he'll still deflect lights properly, which is good. Well, I mean, for him, it's good. He's gonna be one of the few characters in the game that's still gonna be the king. He will be the king of turtles when this patch comes through, the undeniable king of turtles. Because, you know, if you're out of stamina, all you need to do is block, and their light attacks will be deflected anyway, normally. And if you block a heavy, now I'm not sure if you'll be able to get a guard break off a blocked heavy, but you know, if you can still do that, he'll be one of the only characters that can guard break after blocking an attack. Well, you know, just think of it as parrying for sake of argument, but he'll be one of the only characters that can parry after someone attacking, getting a guard break after someone attacking, which is ridiculously good. That means he'll be one of a kind. He's not gonna change at all. And because of these new changes, it also means that, let me just go through them now as well, dodge and dash are 200 milliseconds longer. So that means when conq, you know, is full stamina and the enemy is at no stamina, which happens a lot, and it's going to keep happening a lot even in this new patch because Conqueror isn't changing, I don't think, you're going to be able to do your shield bash spam thing so much easier. You'll be able to shield bash spam, guard break, shield bash spam. It's going to be so much easier to do, and your opponent won't be able to dodge away at all because they'll be just that little bit slower. Because you're always, whenever you know, when they're out of stamina, you go for the shield bash or guard break mix up. Your opponent is always like 1 millisecond away from getting guard broken. It's just they just managed to avoid it. Now the last big change. Well, I mean there are some changes to Revenge, and the flicker bug's removed, which is great. It means Orochi's gonna be, you know, a fair character at least. Revenge, you know, can't interrupt attacks, all that sort of stuff, but that, we don't want to talk about that. I only really care about duels and whatnot anyway. So the last big thing is chip damage. Now, chip damage it's nothing really in this game at the moment. So you get hit, you block a heavy, you take a tiny bit of damage. I think it's like something like 5 damage or something, which is nothing in this game. So what's happened is in the new patch, they're going to change chip damage to 18% for any attack. So that's, you know, that's a lot, that's a big difference. I mean, it may come across as small, but that means that I think with like 4 or so blocked heavies on someone on regenerating health, you can kill them, because you can also kill with chip damage now, which is, you know, great if you're a character that likes to crack open people. So Berserker, that's going to be perfect, because if someone's on regeneration health and they're out of stamina, you can wail on them and they cannot do jack shit about it. You can just hit them with 4 attacks and they won't be able to do anything about it. They can't parry, they can't dodge away, all that sort of stuff, and you just kill them like that. It's going to be incredibly broken at first, I think, but, you know, with some tweaking, I think it could be quite fair. The thing is, it's not going to affect conq at all, because if, you know, he does stay the same, which I think he probably should, he's not going to... he doesn't take chip damage anyway off any attack, so he's, you know, it's just reinforcing conq to be the best turtle in the game. He won't take any damage whatsoever from chip, so he can never be killed like that. All you've got to do is, if you're on regeneration health, just hold all block, and hey presto, get your health back and you're sorted. So, I mean, these changes, they are very good for conq, I think. Overall, this is going to make Conqueror a much stronger character. Like, I'm going to put my money on saying he's going to be the next top tier, or one of the next top tier characters in this game. Like, all these changes seem like they crack down on the defensive meta, yes, but they ignore the fact that Conqueror is one of the most defensive characters in the game, and his kit is designed around that. So if he stays the way he is now, which I haven't heard anything about him changing, if he stays the way he is now, he is going to be the only character that can still play the defensive meta ridiculously hard. He's going to be the ultimate defensive character and, you know, trump any other characters in this field, which I think is fair, because, well, conq is, you know, supposed to be the greatest defense character in this game. He's got the shield, he's designed around defense, all that sort of stuff, so, you know, he should be the most defensive character in the game, and he should have an advantage when he's trying to defend and others are trying to attack, which is what this whole meta, well, new defensive meta breaking thing is aiming towards. So, you know, it's natural that he's going to do quite well in it, because it makes people play more to his strengths, which is, you know, fantastic for him overall. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, this was just my ramblings that I thought of what the change is going to be. Tell me if you agree, disagree, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, thank you guys for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!